Case, we'll just work out.
Would you bow in? Dear Father, again, thank you for all the wonderful blessings that you've given us. Father, we ask you to please be with us. Please give us a heart that's caring and loving for fellow people that's here. Please, Father, help us do what's right for this county. Father, please bless America and the freedoms you've given us. Please let us turn back to you as a nation that believes in God and stands on his word. Father, please help us, and not only this county, but the surrounding areas due to our economy. Please, Father, let us work together to try to work through our problems and try to do what's right, Father. Again, we love you and we thank you for your son, Jesus, which in his name we pray. Amen.
Before we get started, Carolyn, you wanted to address the court before
I
we
sure
got started?
did. Just a minute, Kelly. Thing in my mouth, because last time my mouth got so dry. Be right there. Don't want to hold you up. First thing I'd like to do is to say thank you to Lynette. I asked Lynette after the last fiscal court meeting in the big courtroom if she minded to prepare some extra copies. She has done that, and I really appreciate that. I said, you don't have to prepare one for everybody that's here, but if we could pass them down the aisle and see what's going on and know what's going on in the court, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, Judge Callahan, for allowing me to speak. And I've got a lot of telephone calls, and so I'm going to make an appeal to everybody here tonight. Not only from in the county, but from out of the county, on these fees that we're adding on to the tax bills this year. And I want to ask you, maybe our county attorneys, a few questions about. Number one, people don't all get the paper. People don't all read the paper, even when they get it. And they honestly don't know. And I noticed this little advertisement which I've carried, and I didn't have the big full ordinance until here recently. And the one I happen to have in my hand tonight happens to be the FAR one. And I have read it very, very thoroughly. And in reading it, number one, I know that it says in here, at the very end, Kings, you and Lynette know this, it says at the very end of the ordinance, let me find it here, shall take effect and be in full force from and after its passage, publication, and recording according to law. Now, does that mean that it covers all of 2015, Kings?
Yes, what the ordinance says, we took it from Campbell County.
I knew that. I said, I've been on enough boards and things that you don't draw up from scratch. I knew that.
It came from, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court of Kentucky, and they said that you could do it.
No, that's not the, she's talking about FAR fee right now.
Oh, the fire fee?
Fire fee's on the one I've got.
Yes, you can opt out. They were given to January, what?
That's what I'm saying. Not all people, honey, do. Is there anything in this ordinance or anything we can amend this ordinance to help the people that did not opt out by January the 15th? That's what my appeal to you all is tonight. Is there any way on earth, could it come under this, and I've read this thing, I've studied it now that I've got the full one. Is there any way that under this thing where it says mandatory, where you all put not be seen as mandatory, that's something that probably somebody has to decide. And I wondered, could people say from out of the county who knew nothing about this till they get their tax bill? Because I guess where I had been a public official is why I'm getting calls.
I don't see why we couldn't give the ones an extension that didn't know nothing about it, can we?
Well, I thought that'd probably be a pretty good idea, and I was going to talk about this point later on, is on both of the fees,
We can amend it if you want to, because of that amendment.
Okay. I was going to bring up to the court today, when people come in this year, to be able to say, well, I've got a piece of vacant property here, and I've got one.
Yeah. I've got a lot of calls on that.
When they come in to pay the taxes, to be able to go to whoever we have on this board and say, take it over to the PBA office and say, this is a vacant property.
The board goes for 911, not for fire.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, both of them.
I just happen to have the one
The
that I think.
911 fee is not an opt-out deal. It's if you have a house and a piece of property you have to pay. Now, the fire fee is an opt-out if you want to.
If you don't have a house sign or anything, if you want to opt
Or
out,
if
you
you got a
can.
house on it.
You don't want to opt out. I didn't opt out.
Well, I wouldn't either, but let me give you a little bit of good news. People that know about their fire insurance, our fire department just received their letter Tuesday that they have went from a class 7 down to a 6. Now, 7 to a 6 is not a lot, you know.
I remember when Charles Kirk used to fight for that real hard at the bank.
My insurance premium is about $1,800. Mine may drop $150, but it's still far enough above $30. But what that meant for the people in Coldwater and in your area, Darrell, and Gary's area, Tommy Hawk Fire Department and Coldwater Fire Department are both 6s. So when we
We're from a 9 to a 6.
went from 9 to 6,
That's a big deal.
now when we went from a
If you go from a 9 to a 7, you go from $1,814 down to $1,168.
Right, that's the biggest difference, but now from a 7 to 6, it's going to be, I think Lee told me his would be $90. He pays about $800, he said, his is going to go down $90.
If you go from a 7 to a 5, you go from a 7 is $1,168. A 5 is $909.
So see, there's not a big difference from them, but it is a difference. Now, we was 4 points away from a 5. If we would have been, if we'd had 911 moved over here and went into the next generation, that would probably made up the 4 points. But they come every 3 years, if you call them or not. But you can call them back at any time. But
Well, I'm
now,
thrilled to death with that.
Oh, me
But you
too.
understand what I'm concerned
I
about.
understand.
I'm getting a
totally.
lot of telephone calls and there's a lot of concern.
Well,
And
we're gonna
people-
try to work it out that when they come in to pay their taxes, if they wanna opt out, there'll be a form there. Of course, now, you know, there's KRS say, well, if they come out of.
So y'all will amend it until there could be a form.
Well, let
that-
me explain this to you.
Okay.
Next year, we're gonna be ordering software that will only spit out bills that have improvements on them. In other words, all these
Yeah.
little property people have, those fees won't even be a part of that. But we ain't got the money to buy software, as you all well know, software is really high. And we're gonna buy it just as soon as we start getting some money in. So this year is the only year we're gonna have to deal with it. Now, next year, you know, it's gonna come out, if it's on your tax bill next year, let's say the 911 fee is a mandatory fee. If it's on your tax bill next year, you have to pay it. But now, they.
This year, and not only 911, but are you going to deal with the fire one too this year with?
Yeah, the FAR one too, next year, it won't be on properties that don't have houses on it. You know, it's just not fair to make people pay for, I've got a little piece of property that's less than an acre.
Like you, me too, if I'm black,
I mean, you know.
but I opt out on
Yeah.
that.
Well, I haven't opted out, but, you know, I guess I'm gonna have an opportunity to. I'm gonna get you, we're gonna talk about that a little bit later, but we're gonna try to get it fixed, so when people come in this year and this year only, to opt out of their fire tax at the time they're paying their taxes, and then if there's not an improvement on their house, if they have a little old bill, take it to the board, it's gonna be made of people in the courthouse, and probably one of the girls might talk to Bobby the other day, and all they gotta do is punch that number in and it'll show what it has on it.
We need direction, so the court needs to tell us to do an amendment,
You're-
or things like that, before we could do any of this.
It's all feasible.
Yes.
We just need to know what to do.
Yes, we can.
Well, I
Tell us
remember
what
when I was
time do they
clerk.
want. You know, what time do they want?
I remember when I was clerk, you know, you could non-patent stuff, make it go back, so that's what I was thinking, maybe, in a way, that's what this does, or, and maybe you can do that, you know.
Bills haven't come out, so.
Yeah,
you know,
till,
anybody-
you know,
anybody
maybe
can rank the
there's something you can do in order like
You tell us
that,
what you want,
that takes it back.
We'll do the research and go from there. What date do you want?
Well, I think that it ought to start in 2016 when this should have started. See, you all took it back to 2015, and so a lot of people didn't know about it. And another thing, another suggestion now, and I'm not the one running the court, you all are, but another suggestion is, why do we every year have to go in and file that form, say between April the 1st and July the 1st? Why not, once you file that form, that it covers those pieces of property? I mean, I'm not an attorney.
Well,
But-
I thought he told you, there's a
I
cap
did,
on it
but
right
I'm
now.
talking- I know three.
Okay, yeah, there's just.
But what I'm saying, Keenis, why,
Just stop that one time.
to stop the clerk's office from being overrun with having to go through all those forms,
That's
and the
what,
PPA too, for having to go find out where your property
That's
is and
what
all
this
that.
software's gonna do for us.
Oh, it will do that, and so
It
from
won't
then on
even
out, you
show
won't
up.
have to
It
file
won't
that.
show up
That's a
on the
problem
piece
now,
of
the
paper.
PBA's office don't have that ability to
Right.
print out a tax bill, just say there's nothing on it. Is that
Yeah.
not correct?
That's right.
I wish we.
They won't be a fee on just the property on either one of them.
So you're saying
And then
that,
if you get one with a house on it, on the FAR fee, if the fee's on there and you don't wanna fool
yeah,
with
but
it,
I want that,
well, I do too, but, there's people out here that don't, and people that wouldn't pay it,
yeah.
you know how it is.
So you want us to look at the feasibility of amending the fire ordinance to let them opt out?
Not only the fire, but the 9/11 too. The fire just had to
The
be when I
9/11,
studied it.
You're gonna do the 9/11,
So
both of them?
give them a 2-week extension to be able to
Well,
come in.
no,
right
I
now?
think that really and truly, it ought to be when the people go in and 80, I can't remember the percentage on it, 80-some% pay their taxes to get that in that first 30 days, to get that discount on their taxes. And I think maybe we're up to about 95. We've been constantly, over the last several years, above 95% collection.
Did it help us, Kelly, where where we sit on the board and we bought from the fire department for that $400 and some thousand? Did that help us build that building up there? Did
That's
it
what
cover it?
built that building.
Is that what built it?
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
I just wondered about that, because I know the health department had paid.
So
Yeah.
what are you saying, you want to change the 911 ordinance too?
No, I'm wanting to fix the 911 ordinance, so when somebody comes in there and pays their taxes, if they ain't got it, there's people here that got 10 or 12 properties. They bring their taxes in there and they only pay on what they have a house on.
Well, you've got a board that says occupied. If it's not occupied, you don't pay it. The ordinance says that. Has to be occupied on January the 1st.
I think what she's talking about, people that didn't know about this
Like
ordinance.
that lives in Ohio.
I agree, but if they
That
live
own
in Ohio
property.
they're not here and occupied on January the 1st, that board can address that right now.
Oh, it can,
Yes, it says occupied on January the
but
1st.
but it doesn't on the fire pit, does it?
No.
Well, I want to thank you all for taking time to listen to me, and I appreciate it. I called the judge's office today and asked to be on the agenda, or not on the agenda.
We had to,
but
you'd run
be
us
able-
down.
But I asked to speak, and again, I want to thank Lynette.
Thank you. So you want amendment on that, look into feasibility of doing an amendment?
Yeah.
On the fire.
Do they have a minute for the last court meeting? One?
Motion.
You got a motion to accept the minutes for last? Say all in favor? Clerk's quarterly report, we just accept that?
Yes.
No motion?
Yeah.
I'll make a move.
Got a motion to accept it, second?
Yes.
All in favor? Opening bids on solid waste, we have 3.
Before you do that, I want to make sure, that according to our bid package, and everybody should have a copy here, you go to page 7, I want to make sure you understand that any bids had to do the following before we could accept them. They had to have a $5,000 cashier
Okay,
certified check.
you're talking about, we got 2 bid
The
packages.
green.
The green,
Okay.
the green, page 7. This is commercial.
Pay the green. My bad, I missed it.
This is just like
If you recall, you wanted the court asked me and Miss Muncy to put in the requirements that there was a bid bond, $5,000 cashier check, certified check, made payable to the fiscal court, but they get that back if they sign a contract within 30 days. Number 2, They had to provide description of equipment and procedures. I think you'll see that in here, narrative description. 7.1 on page 7, narrative description of the equipment and procedures to be used, and the description of how the contract will handle holidays, incapacitating weather, missed collections. Number 3, a copy of the latest available financial statement prepared by an outside certified accounting firm from the bidder or its parent corporation. 7.3, the bidder is corporation. They must be in good standing within the Commonwealth of Kentucky, the laws of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. And ever who is the officer must sign the bid, or if not the officer, there has to be a power of attorney for ever who signed it. 7.4, evidence in form and substance satisfactory to this court, what you wanted, that the bidder and its affiliate company has sufficient labor, material, and equipment to perform the work. And 7.5, you asked us to put in it for disposal of refuse material, copies of supporting documents and information to verify that a disposal site is available for the contracts during the period of this contract.
All right, got 3 bids. One, the first one I'll open was received 126 at 225. We had a 12 o'clock today, I think, that they're supposed to be in by.
I think it's in our advertisement.
Yeah. So this one here has met the time requirement, and it is from Apple Valley.
We list it. You can go turn in here too, you've got a copy of what, you can list what each person did about it. I think that's on page 10 if you want to look at it, in the green or blue.
That's it.
Sandra, that will help you.
Apple Valley Sanitation, P.O. Box 429. That's pretty strange. What's my P.O. Box number? South Hager Hill, Kentucky. Y'all better get you something to write on. Okay, the commercial Class A includes up to 4 cans at 35 gallons per or less per can. Once a week service, $35 a month. Keep in mind, guys, this is commercial.
Not residential.
Class B, container size, 2 cubic yards, once a week, $70.
Does it
Three.
say 2 cubic yards?
3,
Mine says 3.
Class B, 3.
Mine says 3 cubic.
Yes,
On Class B?
yes,
Yes.
3 cubic yards.
What's that
You're
say?
you're looking at the white one, you need to look.
That's the one they turned in.
That says Class B, container size 2 cubic yards once per week.
Thank you, sir.
But now, I guess what we're saying.
Well, we need to-
Our bid package says-
Our bid packet says 3.
It's 3.
Okay.
You got 2 then.
Has he got a 3 next?
You've got 2, no, I got 4
Okay,
next.
that's what, okay. What was 70?
Yep.
Class B, container size 4 cubic yards, $140. 6 cubic yards, $210. 8 cubic yards, $282.
Now, it's all Class B, right?
Yeah. Commercial Class C,
Be like 40 yards of that.
Class C, roll-off containers, 20, 30, 40 cubic yards. Roll-off container for a 20 cubic yard is $5 a day.
That's rent.
That's rent. $38 a ton. And $250 hauling. Roll off 30 cubic yards, $5 a day, 38 tons, $250. And same for the 40 cubic yard, $5 a day, $38 a ton, $250 for hauling. Commercial transfer station. Commercial bidder is interested in leasing transfer stations in Martin County. Commercial bidder would accept household solid waste from district franchise only.
How much?
Did we not put a ton in there?
No.
No. It'd be based on whatever they bring in.
$1 a bag. That's what it said.
That's my big bags.
I'm gonna buy them big old bags.
They
Gotta be
are,
a house, you gonna take it.
That should
A
have,
household.
it should have been per tonnage or something, should have been.
Yes.
Be long, we can take a while.
if they want to.
Okay, anything else for me to read on this? All right, that is Apple Valley.
All of us.
All over the side.
Class B does have a range from like 2 to 8. All of them on that website. But it's normally it's a range.
The next one is from Hinkle Blacktop LLC. Got a check in there too. Okay. Commercial Class A includes up to 4 cans at 35 gallons per can, $65 a month.
65.
Yep. Class B container, 3 cubic yards, $150. Class B, 4 cubic yards, $175. Commercial 6 yard, $200. And 8 cubic yards, $225. Roll-off container. These are different, so you have to write them all down. Rent rate per month, $75. And $4.25 hauling, I guess, that's per dump. I guess that means the same as, 250.
Valley's saying 38 cars plus 250. Okay, so you gotta look for those 50. Just about.
30 yards, $75 and $4.50. And $75,
40 tons.
40 cubic yards, $75 and $4.75. It says on the last one down here, on the 40 cubic yards, it says $75 per dump, and then $4.75 per dump. Mike, will you come up here and take this seat?
Okay,
You still been working on it.
okay, that 75 is supposed to be per month, is what they. Per month. They just printed on that, and then the 475 is per day. See what I'm saying?
Do what now?
See up here, we've got 75 per month for rent. This is supposed to be per month.
So this, you're thinking it's per dump.
That's per,
You know,
per
these other
rent.
two ain't got per dump on the $75. You're saying, Victor's thinking it's saying it's $75 a month and then it's $4.75 every time they come and dump it.
Yeah.
Yes.
See up there at the top, it's 75 for the rent. The next one's 75 for the rent. And the thing is, they got 75 down here, but they just put a dump out there beside of it. I think that was a misprint.
Okay, so, and then it says any amount over stated weight will be $60. I guess anything over the 40 cubic yards,
Or if you have to come back an extra time.
no, that's on the per dump.
No, they said per dime.
I would say,
475.
you know, over there across from the funeral home at the dollar store, they got 2 cans, and you well know the trash is always all over the place. I guess that's what it's talking about. If they dump it and they have to pick it all back up and dump it again.
Well, I can explain the difference here a little bit.
Okay.
too. On the class, on the class B, where you got 3 yards, 4 yards, 6 yards, 8 yards, that's what most of your commercials got.
Right,
Like
right.
Rite Aid and all that. Those have like the 8 yards. These down here are like big roll-off containers.
Like they have out here.
Yeah, what you
So
got there.
that would be like if you was at a construction site or a contract site or whatever. I don't know if they'd use those very often as far as commercial pickup, but they possibly might. But
Well-
most of the commercial's gonna be done in a Class B
Same.
neighborhood.
Right.
How about the
What about the
transfer
transfer
station? How about Kelly?
They said they would operate
$65 a ton.
But no, it's
65 a ton.
65 a ton per,
So we got one at $1 a bag and one at $65 a ton. So who in this building can tell me how many bags will go into a ton? You do that, Gary?
That's in your garbage. If it's a bag of feathers, quite a few.
it's talking about. they would only
If it's a
accept
bag of bricks, not
non-garbage
many.
from contractors.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Okay, that's what it
Yeah,
said.
the contractors
But he
don't have
said
to
$1 a
take
bag, so that
If
means
it's
they want to
2
unload the
pence,
truck and count each and every bag. That's kind of crazy.
Well, both of them. That-
But this is 65 a ton, that would be more along the lines of how they charge and all the other things.
What bid is this?
There's more.
What Apple Valley, when they put $1 a bag, what they're doing is if you all was to allow somebody to come in there and throw a bag, that's what they're putting.
Right.
Now,
That's not what it says.
that's what he's meant by it.
$1 a bag.
He's meant,
Yeah.
well, he's not thinking about it, he's thinking about the individual. No, I'm,
Well, you can't speak for Apple Valley now.
but the guy that done, you had the question, how many bags to make a ton? I can give you this number. I haul, on average, 100 to 130 customers per truckload, okay? Now, my customers are only allowed 5 bags a week. On average, most of them have 4 to 5 bags per week, okay? I average right around 2.2 tons a truckload of garbage. But if you do the math on 100 customers and 5 bags, that's 500 bags that I'm putting in that truck, and it comes out to about 2.2 tons. That's rough estimate. I mean, that don't say he said that exact number, but that's a rough estimate number.
So about 260 bags.
I think our question is what would you charge the local contractors per ton to come in there and dump?
I don't,
So we didn't get a tonnage, we got a per bag. So in the bid package, we asked for, you know, what would you charge per ton for the contractors to come in there and dump?
Specify per ton.
It don't specify.
They didn't?
No.
Okay.
It says what rates we charge.
Okay, let's go on to the next one, then we'll discuss it. Garrett International LLC, 282 East Center Street, Building B, Madisonville, Kentucky. There's the check.
Is this still for commercial?
This is the only thing we're doing.
Okay.
We had to have that ton figure, so when we do the haulers tonight, they'll know, they'll have a figure to go by.
Gotcha.
Okay. Class A, the first one, 4 cans, $35 is $70. The first one, Class A, 35 gallon, 4 can.
435 gallons.
Yeah, the next one is 70. The next one is 84.
Okay, now, what are you saying, like once a week pickup, twice a week pickup, or what are you saying?
What's on this picture?
Okay, so once a week is 70,
On
twice
Class
a
A.
week is 70?
You didn't ask for that.
3 cubic yards.
2 yards, or
Three
you got 3 yards?
Yeah.
So Class A, 435 gallon cans.
435 gallon can.
It's $70 per month.
Okay.
More frequent collection may be negotiated with whatever. All right,
Three
and
cubic
Class
yard.
B is 3 cubic yard is 70.
Okay.
Class B, 4 cubic yard is 84. 6 yard container is 108. 8 cubic yard is 125. $20 roll-off is 70. Pickup is 70. And tipping fee is $31 per ton. So there again, it's gonna be hard to figure
What's the 30 gallon?
how many tons are in 30 gallons. Okay, and the next one is 70, 75, and $31 a ton.
The next one what? John Bell?
30, from a 20
30
to a 30,
Okay.
and they didn't bid a 40.
What was the 30 again? Tell me the 30.
The same as the 20.
So 70 and 70,
5,
140.
70 and 75 and $31 per ton.
And then what's the haul fee? 140.
Now, its tipping fee is 30.
31 tons.
Okay, on the 20 yard, then you have a hauling fee of 140.
No, I didn't.
You go to cubic yards.
Both the same.
It'll be in it. Yeah.
Commercial bidder is interested in leasing a transfer station for Martin County Fiscal Court. Commercial bidder will accept household solid waste from district franchise only. $18,201.47 per week.
Per week.
So don't say how many tons. They bring as much as they want.
$18,000 a
A
week.
week.
So I guess the bidders are, most of them are here. I don't know about Apple Valley. Huh? So, are there any questions on Kenny Easy's bid?
I think most of the commercial guys is going to be in that Class B range.
Yeah, that's where you're going. You had it pretty well.
That's for where all the jobs.
Just see here,
Who?
that guy from Madison, BR, Gary.
Hey, Brian, step up to the plate, please.
No idea what you got on there.
Okay.
Just a minute now.
Do you understand the 18,000 per week?
No idea.
Can you call?
Should have been probably for that.
Yeah.
Pardon? Yeah, yeah, I can call.
That's the timeline right now.
Well, they have a bid.
Well, you don't have to take them. You can reject or take any one you want. Remember that too.
Give us late. And it depends on the bid. How do you do that?
get cheaper on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them.
A lot cheaper.
Yeah. 5.
But now, where the rubber meets the road, Keenan,
Yeah,
is
where
at
they got
18,000, we don't know.
And you gotta remember this too, James. The local haulers don't have to take it now. They can take it somewhere else if they want to. They could take it to Ashland. What's the tipping fee down there? $23.75 a ton?
24, 25 at one
24,
we go
25 a
to.
ton. They don't have to take it. No matter who gets it.
Per month, not per week. So if you get one week you pick up, that's $15.
Guys, if you look at these bids, the two is fairly close. But we was looking for a per ton price. We got that, and we got dollar back from the other firm. It's kind of hard. And we got 18,000 on the other one. Cause they ain't no, I don't understand how a private hauler could pay $18,000 per week. They ain't gonna make it.
They'll be making out tomorrow.
No, but again, remember, they do not have to take it. It's not a requirement that they have to take it down here. So you all do what you want, but remember that. They're not required, no matter who you give it to or who you.
Motion.
What's, Eric, you got any questions?
We can't figure out how you do a dollar bag by a ton, man. I mean,
Nobody can. So what we
pick up somebody at this house, they were 100 pounds apiece.
Well, I make a motion, we let him, because he's, when you get to figuring him and that valley up, he's cheap.
Second.
Got a motion second, accept Hinkle. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
He got it, his check and stuff in there and everything.
Did everybody vote yes?
Yes.
Yes, we vote yes.
Well, that's fine, but this is mine.
Contractor will know how much he's gonna pay when he's done it. The contractor, the district contractor, they'll know. how much
Kenny, is
they're
he in the
gonna
building?
They probably fine.
Can you start tomorrow?
That way, all of them know, that way they can base on the
Checks get returned, the other two. Huh? Yeah, it's something in that top. There's a check for that. Okay, that leads us to,
You want to, the court's gonna allow Kelly and them to sign the contract?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, let Kelly sign.
got a motion, got a second, to be signed contract.
And I think that was beginning April the
All in
first.
favor?
Yes.
What? 2 seconds. All in favor? To,
Allow Kelly to execute the contract, Hinkle's blacktop.
This leads us to advertising the bid for the individual households. They have a number from, well, Kenny will charge them down there per ton, and then they gotta look at that versus hauling it down the river. So that puts it in place where the private haulers will have a good idea what
What's the
that's
bid
gonna
on?
cost them and how much they have to bid.
Hopefully it'll save them some money.
What do you want?
Victor had a question about the bid package.
For the residential, does it state in there that they would generate invoice, monthly invoice to the customers?
I think they would be responsible for the
They
billing.
are
They
responsible.
don't-
And I'm just saying, is that spelled out in the bid package that they need to provide a monthly
Yeah, it's part
invoice?
of the order.
It's in the
Okay,
ordinance.
make sure.
The ordinance says that.
They're generating a monthly invoice to each
They're
of the customers.
responsible for
They're
the billing.
responsible for collection.
And if they don't pay, they bring it to the.
That way, if there's ever any question, those customers have proof that they
Yes.
checked.
Okay, I need a motion to advertise and accept the bid package as written.
Motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Yeah.
And when do you want to open it?
So you have it in there, I believe.
We can get it in next Wednesday and the next Wednesday and any time after that.
I think we said, what, February fiscal court meeting, try to get
I
everything
just
done
said
so
it
we
at the
can
regular
start
fiscal
hopefully
court
in
meeting
April.
in February.
Everybody start same time in April.
Okay.
I think that's what they wanted us to do, was that not correct?
I just,
That way, all of it start on April,
Yeah.
commercial and the residential, and everybody be aware of it. Also, Kelly, we need to address with the court about the potential lease with Hinkles. We can do that, you know, we've got 2 months, but we need to meet and see what you want in the lease, what terms you want, whatever, so we can address
Can you
that.
give me a calendar?
Third is,
I got it. So our next fiscal court meeting is
February 25th.
25th, 6 o'clock.
Yes, that's what we got when the bids will be open in this bid.
Okay, all right.
What we're trying to do, and I think it's for everybody, let everybody be on the same terms and same date, starting dates. That way, you know, you've got 2 months. We don't have to fool around, we can get it done, hopefully, get everybody in place.
Okay, the next thing you see is authorizing me to accept the high bid. The auction is Saturday. And y'all realize we put $1 million reserve on it. $1 million or over. You're authorizing me to accept the high bid,
Motion.
Over $1 million.
over the $1 million.
And also, like tell the court, I'm gonna have a package for the auctioneer to show the 2 leases that it's subject to, as well as make sure they understand that 911 will be up there rent-free up to 6 months.
I think that most of them understand that, but in your package, you'll find a little, I had the calculations wrong. I got 1099 today from Big Sandy Healthcare. They paid us a total of $37,584 for the year. Highlands paid us $79.60 for the year, and that is a total of $45,544. That would be equal, that is equal to 21 years and 9 months and a half.
What you say now, tell me again?
You've got it in
Hear
your,
me.
in the bid package.
Okay.
And that is not counting no maintenance at all. So, you know,
There was rumors that we was getting $80,000 a year rent.
if we was getting
90.
double this, you know, it'd be a hard draw for me to,
I'm glad you brought that, and I'd like to make that part of the record. what you brought.
do you got it? All right.
What'd you say Highlands paid Kelly?
They paid $19.90 every 3 months. So, and I think that's my math right, that's $79.60. Did I? I thought I already did it. I already did it.
Seconded to.
Motion second, all in favor?
Yes.
Okay. We've kind of already discussed this, guys, but let me tell you what I want to do, and let Candace, you can tell me if we can do that for this year and this year only. When somebody comes in and pays their tax bill, they have the tax bill in their hand. I think it ought to be that if they got 5 tax bills and they live on one of those house bills and they have no houses, they ought to be able to get something from this assessment board that day to be able to do that.
You're saying if they have 5 houses.
If they come in with 5 tax bills, they live on one of those, and then they have little tracts of property that has nothing on it.
They don't need to pay it, it says occupied.
They don't have,
Occupied residence, you wouldn't have to pay it if you don't have a house on it.
But what I'm telling you is it's on their tax bills this year.
Well, they can come off because the ordinance says it must be occupied.
Yeah.
And that's why we're hoping PBA would have this, what you said we're gonna have next year, we wouldn't be going through this. That's why your Board of Assessment.
So somebody can bring the tax bill in with no improvement on it,
What would they
and the
do?
sheriff can take it off the bill.
Well, you would have to get the Board of Assessments to say, we looked at this, there's no occupied residence on it, therefore we feel there's no taxes, sign it, give it to the sheriff, so when he reconciles his taxes, he'll have proof that there's no taxes on.
Where's this board at?
Couldn't they, like in the same day though, couldn't they go to the PBA office and say, you can look at this, I don't have any, because you got the map, I don't have any improvements on
Well,
it.
he has to appoint a board to do that, and they could, send him down there correctly.
Did I make
This
the board?
first year is gonna be a nightmare, people, let me tell you why. Like the judge told you, our PBAs, for whatever reason, we don't have the capability to print out just the tax bills that has no, with residents, is that not correct?
Not in the
That's
present
correct.
time.
Right, not right.
That's it, and that's why you have to come to this board, and hopefully, bear with us, because the first year it's like everything else. Anything new, it takes time to get used to. But, they'll do what's right, because the ordinance says, if you don't have an occupied resident, you're not responsible for
If you got 5 pieces of land and it's $75, that's $750
it. You won't,
extra on your taxes.
if you don't have but one house on it, you won't have that.
If it's just a piece of
You
property.
will this time, won't you?
no, you can tell, no,
That's why you
take it
have
off.
this board. No.
No, Clifford's right.
It will be on there.
It'll be on there.
You can take it to the board, and they'll take it on.
Where's the board at? Where's it gonna
Tell
be?
these, that's what
So
we're
we're
doing
gonna
right here.
pay
He's
that
gonna-
first.
He's
You're
gonna
saying we're-
appoint one.
We gotta pay that first,
No.
and then go to the board.
No.
Now, what I want to do, Clifford, is
I know what you're wanting to do, but this is the way the tax is gonna be this year.
No.
it's gonna be on your tax bill. What I want to be able to do is once I talk to Bobby, if I can appoint Rhonda and Mike maybe, just so somebody can check that tax bill and sign that there's no house on it, and then take it in there, then the sheriff who just walked through the door will not collect that $75 on that in particular tax.
Because the ordinance says that, ordinance says it has to be an occupied
I
dwelling.
understand that, but we don't have a board, and it should have
We're
been
getting
done,
it-
it
that's
should have
what
been
this
done
guy-
before the taxes.
I think what Cliff is saying is going to be on the tax
Yes,
bill.
yes. It's
He just
gonna be
wants to
on your
make
tax
sure
bill.
that he's not going to be responsible,
Clifford.
We're getting
and that
ready,
it's going to be,
I think that sheriff there, he's the
We're
one that's
getting-
gonna collect it. If
we're
he
getting
gets a
ready to put
paper,
a
he will
board
get
right
it.
now.
Yes.
We're gonna put a board together right now. So, when you get your
Cause
taxes,
see, I've done it on the fire tax.
Doesn't the
on
tax
properties
bill say it,
have
that you
nothing
don't
on it.
have improvements on it?
Hopefully some,
Yeah.
I think it says that, doesn't it? No improvements on your tax
But
bill?
this
or
time
some
it's
of them
gonna
may,
be on there.
you may have one on it, it's no
What it
longer
is,
there.
I think tax bill actually says property with improvements, and then the
Yeah.
others don't say with.
I think it
Then
does.
if you have a house, don't have no one resident, in it, you're not gonna pay for it either.
But we're gonna try to do something to address the fire thing too.
Yeah.
Yes, well, that's,
yeah.
they want me to look at it, we probably have to amend it, that's all I'm asking.
I appreciate that,
Amend the
thank you.
time.
And June.
I don't know.
Good morning. Good morning.
Huh?
Really, each taxpayer, I'll just pick on that.
But who you gonna appoint, you need to do it by resolution. Appoint the board.
We gotta do it
Sure.
tonight.
What's what I'm saying?
I've been over
I would
here trying
like to
knock
put-
out. There's no place to do it.
Somebody from PVA office, and somebody, maybe 2 people from PVA office, or 2 people, somebody that's there every day.
You're gonna have to be, because it's gonna be a lot of work at first.
Okay, I recommend Rhonda from the PBA.
I think, yeah.
You will.
second.
But well, let me ask you this, so any one of those board I don't see how anybody but somebody in the PVA office can look that up if they have to type in that bill and
You
look it
have to have
up.
access to the
That's what I'm saying.
computer.
That'd be ideal. And hopefully, like they said, you know, there won't be any confusion if Bobby can print them out that says that's with an
Yeah, that's
improvement
next
on
year,
it.
I gotta get this year, because taxes gonna go out this weekend.
That's what I'm saying. You need your vote.
So let me ask you this, if it, Mike, what did Bobby say about the board? When you talked to Bobby yesterday, did he say he minded it? I know that I forgot, I was gonna have Bobby here tonight, and I forgot to tell him.
We were just discussing how we were gonna handle this year,
Right,
because, you know, next year everything's gonna be straightened out, but this year we were talking about how we could simplify the process this year for the people coming in. That'll be up to you all.
In the simplest way, like you said, access to the PVA's office.
Well, I'm not going to commit Bobby's office. You're sitting there committing his office to.
No, that's what they're trying to
My
ask.
suggestion to him and Susie, we were all three talking about it, was that we have a form, just a simple form this year, because in order to simplify it, that if people sign that form that their property's vacant, it don't show improvements on their tax bill, they write their tax bill down, tax bill number on there, and sign it in the sheriff's office. Now,
And
we have to
a
get
board
the sheriff's
approval.
office to see, because they've already taken the fire fees off of the ones that signed. And then they're gonna take, you're gonna set up where they can take the others off that didn't know about it or didn't come in. This can be simplified. This year may not be perfect, but it can be simplified for the taxpayer when they come in. If they say, I don't want the fire fee, sign the form and let them take it off. If they say, my property is vacant, their tax bill doesn't show improvements, they should be able to take it off. Next year, the equipment will do it for them.
The only problem is, our ordinance says there has to be a board that
Okay.
can sign off.
let me answer, why don't we go ahead and point the board
Yes.
and point Rhonda and, maybe me, maybe not.
I think you may want Mike or somebody else.
Yeah, I figured you'd say that.
Well, I like you.
All
I think-
right, what about contingent Bobby's approval is,
Oh, yeah.
as,
Contingent upon her agreeing to it.
Well-
It's Mike.
It ain't up to Bobby, it's up to her.
I kick her on the seat.
No, basically, she works 8 hours a day for Bobby. If you said you're not gonna spend your time on
Yeah,
this
that's what
board,
I'm
then.
saying.
No, but let's say Bobby,
Well, does he want a stranger in his office going through his computer?
let's say Rhonda and Heather and Mike. Now, let's say this, that let it be simple, like you said, if they becomes a question, the sheriff has a question, then it goes down to Rhonda
And the board.
and the board.
May I make a suggestion on that? You can see if, like Mike said, do a simple form, let them bring in, tell the board, we do not, here's my tax bill, there's no improvements on my property. The board can verify that to the PVA's office, let the board sign it, send it to the sheriff's office. The sheriff, I'm sure, would be happy to say, they said there's no improvement on it, you do not owe the 911 fee. Would that be simpler for you, Sheriff? It's gonna be a lot of work for you, you know that.
You guys got money?
We'll
I
try.
will work for money.
That's it. That's what Mike was saying, and I agree with him. I think that's the simplest
You're in the
thing
wrong county.
that we could do. But the ordinance says the board has to do
Take
it.
some at your.
He would love to, but I ain't allowed.
So, if it's a board, then everybody has to
Not everybody.
I would think that would work better if you have the form and the sheriff's people has a question, and
And they can
then
go
at least 2 members of the board get together and make the decision.
Yeah, they can sign off
If
on
there's
it.
a question.
Yes, they can sign off.
Yeah.
then-
everything that's on it interferes with the tax bill. That's what it is.
Yeah, and you all could sign that based upon our records, this place has no improvement on it. Therefore, no 911 fee is assessed. And that'd be the sheriff to have it, sheriff to have it for his record.
Only if there's a question,
Yes.
and there shouldn't really be a
So-
question on it.
Well, I think you'll have to sign off if there's any question.
The question will be if it says with improvement
Yes.
and they're not improved.
Yes.
That's
where you're gonna have a problem.
That's when there'll be a question.
Maybe some,
Until then, they're not.
recently a home burnt down or
If it don't say
something.
improvement, right.
They're no longer there, a lot of houses have been foreclosed
Or you've
on.
had a double wide and moved it out.
So you're gonna appoint a board, at least two
Rhonda
people.
and Heather Crumbs and Mike.
I second
Motion.
All in favor?
that. Second.
Motion second. Go again.
So we need to do a simple resolution. Kelly, I think we need to do a resolution with draft one for you, saying what you just pointing them through.
I thought we just appointed.
Yeah, we did.
Well, we need to do it by resolution, that's what the statute.
We ain't got time. We tax bills going out this weekend.
Well, you have time, because the board's not gonna see them until they start coming in.
They're gonna start coming in Monday morning.
Well, guess what, we can do it, man.
So you want to have a special court
I
meeting?
think just for that, it has to be done by resolution, but you, Lynette,
What's the ordinance?
that's what, we have to go by what the ordinance says.
Okay,
Whatever time you want, we don't care. We have the ordinance.
tax bills going out Monday morning,
I believe so.
first, is that the first? So basically, we could have the meeting on the first and come, when they start coming in on Tuesday.
Yeah, you ain't gonna get them till then, John.
Is that on Monday? No post over tomorrow. Tuesday or Wednesday?
Yeah. Anytime you want to, we don't have court Monday.
7:30, he don't have to be school till 8.
And we'll do the
So we'll
resolution,
have
let them read
a
it.
special board meeting at 11 o'clock on Monday morning to deal with this.
Court meeting.
Court meeting, what'd I say?
Board meeting.
Board meeting.
Board meeting, I've got the school board on the line.
Advertising, please. Put it on the door, yeah.
Okay, I can't do it, I can't get, just on the,
Huh?
you just want it up on the.
He'll tell the paper, you know, but that's the meeting with the agenda on it. It's the resolution.
Paper sitting right back there, Gary.
One thing, there's a couple more things I forgot to put on the agenda, and one is Susie brought us over a check,
17.
$17,000 on final settlement for excess fees collected in the calendar year 2015.
What was the total? Do you know that she turned into the court?
Well, 17,000 even, but there's a few more dollars. I think there's about 5,000 more dollars, and there's gonna be some more stuff coming out of that. Another thing, I asked Mary Blanton to come and address the court about, we had a meeting a couple months back, and we was gonna try to work out a deal, you know, contract. Mary, if you wanna come up and talk to the court. Huh? I had a meeting with him. Huh? Yeah. Come on over.
Okay, a few months back, you had had a conversation with us to lease us the shelter
Mhm.
for $1, I think, is it a month or a year or something like that?
Yeah.
And you would pay the taxes,
Mhm.
and you would give us $400.
Yep, and $15 per dog.
Okay, I didn't get that part, but we can write that down here. Okay. The problem we are having with that is we did some research. We went to some of the local shelters, and we asked them what they were awarded. Floyd County is probably, receives the least amount of the ones we went to. And even with the least amount, they are receiving $3,000 per month to run the shelter, not $400.
From the fiscal court.
From the city, they're receiving $500.
From the county, 25.
From the county, $2,500. So we're looking at $3,000 to run
And
their
remember,
shelter.
they're 4 times bigger.
Not really,
Oh, okay.
not really. If you go over there and take a look, they're really not that much bigger.
I'm talking about population-wise in the county.
Possibly, yes, but that does not mean that the number of dogs are less. Okay, so our problem is just as huge as theirs. So we're looking at, Floyd County gets $36,000 per year. Okay, you offered us $4,800. So that's not to be rude, but that's kind of an insult. We can't take it, we can't do that. That's just, it's not feasible. We cannot pay for the dog food alone, let alone the electric, the water, now the commercial trash pickup, and also continue to pay for 100% of bedding. What was that? I'm sorry. I didn't hear.
What is Johnson County?
Johnson County, they receive $65,000 a year.
From who?
This is from the county and the city together.
Tucker told me that he paid the same as he did Graham County. That's where I come with my figure.
Okay. Well, this is the new totals that we're getting. So,
Well, I can't see us giving $36,000 a year to take care of the dogs. That's my personal opinion. When we got kids going out here hungry and we can't give them nothing.
I understand,
And-
but by state law, you are required to have a shelter in every county.
We got a shelter and we also have a dog catcher.
You have a hovel.
Well,
you have
whatever
a
you
shack.
call it, what you want, I call it shelter.
Okay.
And the shelter that we got for them dogs, we got a dog catcher.
And
do
he
the
is on
same
the,
thing.
her
yes,
whenever
yes,
there.
let me ask you this. How much has he been there in the last week of this storm? The dog, maybe twice.
Well, you
How
want
much
to
snow have we, as rescuers, tracked?
how
much did
many
who got-
hollows has he
how-
been up and scraping the road?
That
to
is
get the
not
people
his
out?
That's
job.
not his job title.
He is a dog catcher.
Well, then we need to let him go up and do his job.
Yes,
and
we
you
do.
women, you know,
Absolutely.
you don't have to worry about it
Yes,
anymore.
we do. But, you know, as a citizen of this community and concerned for these animals, I will be at this
Well,
shelter.
you go up there anytime you want to.
I will
don't
be up
care.
there to see that the job is done. If you want to pay him $28,000 a year, you want to continue to do
Let
that?
me let me
That's
say
wonderful.
this, and
That's
I've
wonderful.
discussed
I'd
this
love to see
before.
that happen.
I see liability problems if people don't sign out.
I have
on
signed.
workers'
Yeah,
comp
there's
and
stuff
everything.
inside.
I want to make sure that's done. And
Well,
I have
put
my
take
copy.
off, but I don't want any child to come up there, some individual get bit or hurt.
There's no
There's
children
no
that
children.
does it.
Let
None of
me,
us are
uh,
Make
children.
sure that.
Let me
Okay.
That's my
explain
I
to the
understand.
court. They are completely right about we have to have a dog shelter.
Yeah, we know that.
Now, you've got to understand that we're only by law keep it open 3 days a week, 24 hours a week. We're only by law keep the dog 7 days, then we can put them down.
So who feeds them these other days?
Okay,
that
yeah,
you're
the
not
3
there in
days
3
a week, do
days?
they just eat 3 days a
So
week?
keep it open to the public,
Okay.
3 days
That's
a
fine,
week.
we can do that.
And then we keep them for the statute of 7 days,
Right,
and put them down.
right,
That's what we can do.
right.
Absolutely,
No,
we know that.
So,
We as rescuers can pull these dogs once a week
Out of there.
and take those dogs to rescue so that
and
they do
why
not
is
get
that
put
not
down.
happening?
It is happening.
How many
I
dogs
took
got up
11
there?
dogs today.
How many dogs got up there now?
We've got 19.
Do you know how many dogs would be there if we had not been taking this off?
We have saved almost 500 dogs.
$15 a dog adds up a lot of money too.
Yeah, but we've not got
We don't
I know
$15.
you're not now, but I'm saying it would add up to a lot
It
of
would
money.
help,
Yeah,
absolutely.
You're
Yeah,
not
absolutely
counting
it
on
would
that.
help. Absolutely it would help. But that's still not going to be enough. I mean, you can do your math. You guys are smart. I don't doubt that. And I don't mean to insult your guys' intelligence, but this is a huge problem in this county. This is not something that is going to go away.
You got to understand though, the situation the court is in.
I do understand.
The court by law has to have an animal shelter. They put them down every 7 days. And
They have
has to
the
keep it
option.
open to the public for 24 hours.
Yeah, they have the
Well,
option.
now, wait a minute. When you take them dogs off, before, when we took the cleanup county, they didn't necessarily put them dogs down, because they was sending them out in the district. Down there, 2 people was coming in to take it out. Because they told me down there that they take every pup that you could bring down there, because people was bagging for pups.
At times.
Yeah, I mean,
We have people
I've been
begging
there,
for
I've
pups
done
right
that,
now.
I've done that, and I know.
I
And-
just got a
and
call
him and
a few
he
minutes ago
used to
about
donate dog food to the shelter out here, when we took them off down there. I don't know if he does that for you guys, I mean, you don't take them down there, but,
No, I won't take them down.
he told me that if we've not, like 30 dogs down there, 25, 26 of them was adopted out.
I don't think that's correct.
Well, he lied to
Well,
me,
he
didn't
may
he?
have.
We had.
I believe he did. Because we found
we
carcasses.
found carcasses of dead
in that
animals up
shelter.
there, in
Carcasses.
cages. We got pictures, I mean,
Maybe that's
So-
the ones he was gonna put down or
no,
something.
maybe it was one that was left where it started.
That's exactly what happened.
Why
It was
would
in
he
a
starve
page
them
by
when he got
itself.
his
It
license?
started.
Cut 'em
Obviously,
down.
somebody starved them or they wouldn't be dead.
Okay, I don't want to argue, I just want the numbers. I want to know what you can offer us that is actually reasonable, that is not an insult. We cannot run a shelter on $400 a month. It is impossible. We have not yet received the electric bills for the last year.
Don't
We
get
have
it
not,
open. Take it open 3 days a week, do what we're supposed to do, by law.
Well, before, I've got a feeling you're getting ready to make a motion, but before you do that,
No, I ain't gonna make no motion, I just think that we can put a dog catcher up and tell him, bring him in your office, you do your job. You do your job. And do what the state law requires us to do.
and you know, that would be fine. But Joette's going to pull Todd for every job he
No,
thinks
no,
he
no, no,
needs.
Joey ain't gonna pull him if Kelly tells him not to.
He's done it for the last year.
Well, Kelly ain't told him not to then.
He's done it
so
well.
what you're saying is you want to run the shelter like to the state minimums, what we
To the
took.
state, because we don't have the $36,000 to give to nobody.
Well,
We've been
Todd
calling and
gets
arguing here for the last
28,000.
6 months.
Your dog
How we
catcher
gonna
gets
get
it.
money to pay the board, to pay the
The
truck
dog catcher
drivers,
gets
the garbage.
$28,000 a year.
And we're doing
How
the
much?
job.
$28,000 a year. That's what the dog catcher gets. Okay, I don't want anybody's job, but if we did a contract, by law, we don't have to have a dog catcher if we have a contract. That would be our baby.
I mean, it's
Okay,
like
so
you
take that
guys.
$28,000, give it to the rescue, let it run the shelter, give Todd a job on the road where apparently he's needed more. I mean, that sounds pretty
So
simple
are
to
you
me.
saying you would take the 20, he gets $11.79 an hour. If he gets overtime, he gets 28, but he gets $11.79 an hour. So you're saying you would take his pay
His pay.
and run the shelter?
I can
And
run the
we
figures and
could wash
consider
our
it.
hands
I
of
won't give you an absolute answer right this minute, but I will run the figures. I will run the figures.
Well, when we talk about running the figures,
say no?
and I don't,
Give no answer right now, no. But we're gonna
but,
listen.
but,
Well, nothing else
I mean,
to
I'm
talk
open to
about then.
offers. I have to hear an offer that I can run the figures and work with and see if it is feasible. If it's not feasible, it's ridiculous for me to say, oh yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, we need to see the bill look like.
Okay, I need to see what the electric bill
Utilities.
Okay,
was.
but now, if we go
Water
back,
bill.
if we give you $28,000 a year, and then we're giving Todd $28,000,
No, I don't care what you do with Todd. If you want to keep him on your payroll,
No,
that's
he
up to
said
you all.
taking him-
I'm talking about
I
get
don't
rid of the
know.
dog catcher.
how that would satisfy the KRS unless having to have a dog.
Because you know what's happening?
I don't
We-
know, I don't think the court, it's kind of surprised me, I don't think the court's ever been involved in any leases, have it?
Not up there.
No.
That's what I'm saying, did you meet with, I didn't know there was
Yeah, I met
discussion of a lease.
Yes, there was.
I'd like to know the terms, everything about it.
I don't
But
know, we
got
was
to-
gonna work
I
on a
understand
lease
this,
for
we got a
it.
dog catcher.
It was when the news came in, WIMP came in. And we had a meeting.
Is it
Call
a
him
lease
in.
for $1?
We didn't have to call them
a
in,
year?
I mean, we don't have to call them in, they see the situation, what's going on up there.
Want to see
If
it?
you have an offer for these people, the court wants.
No, they don't have an offer.
They don't have an offer.
I
do
thought they just told you what they
they?
want.
No, they said they
I
couldn't
said
do
we
it.
could
They
run,
said they
I didn't
couldn't
say
do
we
it.
couldn't do it.
You said you couldn't do it on what you're doing now.
No, not on, no.
That's what you
Well, is
said.
the
Not on
court
$400
interested
That's what I'm
in
saying, that's what
leasing
you
it out
said.
to somebody or
Yes, I
not?
have
I
to
guess that's
refuse.
what you need to do. Let's go with it.
I have to refuse a $400 a month offer.
They gotta go back and figure out what they did it for. They didn't say they did it for that.
See, the shelter's not up to state regulations.
It's not up to
We had it
code.
all checked.
There is supposed to be able to contain the heat within that facility. Can't be
It's
done.
not up to
It's
code.
open to the outside. Eight kennels, there is no heat. No heat.
Yeah.
Okay? And by state code, state regulations, they have to be able to contain heat and cooling.
You got the grant, you the one got the grant for it.
I got the grant to get the building built, yeah.
Should that been built with state code?
Huh?
Was it built with
I
state
mean,
code?
Victor got
Yeah, it's built with state code.
It is not up to today's code. It may have been when you built
Yeah,
it,
well,
but
I
now
know it was
it's
when we
not.
got it, because we got it when Dr. Lafferty was
Yes,
there.
I know, yes, I'm aware.
Matter of fact, I went to Mount Sterling to meet with all of them and
And I
got a
believe you got a
$50,000 grant to build it.
Did you
because
get a
we didn't have
$50,000 grant for that?
Yeah, we got a $50,000 grant to build it.
Do you know that's a ridiculous price to put on the building we've got right now?
Well, no, and dogs got a
Absolutely.
bathtub and everything else up there. They got better bathtubs than some of these people in the county's got.
Rest stops have bathtubs. You know, you got a hobo can go in and take
You
a
know,
bath.
this not gonna solve it.
You know, I'm not gonna go there.
You know, why don't you all
Get your fair.
get your figures together, present it to the court, and let the court look, and then on that, to try to do some research and see, because It looks like to me you're a mile apart.
Yeah,
Let's face it.
absolutely. Well, from 400 to 3,000, yeah.
Yeah, I think it.
Yeah. But, you know, like I said, by state, if we took over the shelter as a rescue, we do not have to have a dog catcher. I don't want Todd to use.
We do.
But we do, we still have to have a dog catcher.
Yeah,
That's
who's gonna
state
go out in
law.
the county and pick them up if?
I do.
We do
it.
already.
We do it all the time. I've got one I have to go get first thing in the morning.
Can we
Fisher's
get y'all's
dog,
phone number then?
and I will get it.
But
Yeah.
believe me, we get phone calls every day.
626-5537.
We get calls, we get calls every
I
day.
get 2 to 5
You know,
calls
we can
per
be here all
day.
night, this number, so.
Well, we do get calls.
Come back.
Mary,
Yes.
come back on February 25th.
Get some figures, and let them have a look at it, try to do something.
Because I'm
We do
telling
get
you,
calls because
we
people
go out,
tells
we
us
get
they
vicious
can't.
dogs, we track down cats, we trap. You know,
Well,
we have
everybody-
had vicious dogs that will eat your face off when they walk in there. We work with these dogs, we get them adoptable. Okay, this is not cheap. Okay? I'm not trying to, for lack of a better word, screw the county. Okay? I'm not asking for something for myself. I volunteer. This money won't go in my pocket, not one dime. I'm not asking for a dime to live on. My husband is out of work, but I'm not asking for a dime to live on, okay? I volunteer my time. I pull money from my pocket, from my husband's pocket. All these ladies that help us do the same thing. It's a passion. It's not to make the almighty dollar, okay? That's what I want to get through to you guys. It is not to make things harder on you. I want to work together, and I want our county to care about the fact that there's a pregnant dog running down the road that just got splattered. I want people to care that this cat just got squished and some guy called me and said, it's still alive. What do I do? And he told me, somebody in the county said, kill it. He said, I will not kill it. Call rescue and try to save it. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about money. I know money is part of it, but we have to be able to work together. This is not for one person. This is for this county. I lived away from here. I moved back here because I love this county. I want to make a difference in this county.
And we know
And I know
everybody
we can
don't.
do it if we work together. But
Everybody
as
don't
long
have
as
the
we
same
butt
desire.
heads,
We know.
we're not going to get anywhere.
We know.
Well, I might not have a desire to help you to help a dog,
Right.
but I got a desire to help kids,
We help
Yes.
kids
people,
too.
women, and men. That's my first priority.
I'm all
I like
about
to see
that
some
too.
women walk in that door, or men, or a 19-year-old kid, and have the enthusiasm that you got to help a
We
little
do.
kid that started this to the wooden battle
I
dog.
do, I take food. I
We
do
do.
Special
That's my
Olympics.
concern.
I volunteer Special Olympics. I do all that, so.
I also
Hey.
donate to disabled veterans.
What did
It's
they,
not
what did you guys say was the least that any other county, you know?
the least amount was $3,000 a month,
Floyd County.
and that's Floyd
Okay,
County.
that's $36,000 a year. Here's simple math, guys, right here. If they're gonna be a dog catcher, in essence, you'd have a dog catcher if they're catching it, okay? You sign a contract with them, they're a dog catcher. If you give him that give them that $28,000 a year that he gets, okay? Then you do $15 a dog, say if there's 200 dogs a year goes through there.
There's been 500.
Okay, but if there's 200,
Okay.
at $15 a dog, and then you give them the 4,000 that you were offering them, that's 30,
No, they were offering 400.
that'd be $35,800 a year.
It's half
I
of what
mean-
right now.
Bring stuff back on February 25th. We'll deal with it.
And we'll look and see if it's feasible. And Linda, could you get the figures, what we're out for now? Is that possible?
I would have to go back and calculate. I would,
You can have it when they come back next
For
week.
February, and that way everybody know what they're talking about.
I would also like a copy, if I could request a copy of the electric bill for all year, 2015, the water bill, 2015.
Okay, all righty.
And the phone, I'm sorry, the phone bill, because it's come to my attention that there is a phone that is supposed to be active up there, that there is no phone. There is no phone. There hasn't been a phone there for over a year, but yet the county's paying every month for a phone bill that there is no active phone line.
Okay.
So that's kind of money thrown away.
How y'all taking care of trades now? I mean, how have they been using?
They are.
They're doing it. They are.
We're doing it. We're doing it. Straight
Okay,
off samples.
but before they came on board, where were you going? You had to think of
Greenup
Greenup County.
Greenup County. Greenup County.
Okay, but they have been doing that well over a year.
I know.
Yeah, right.
That's when they took over.
They have
They've
been
been up
there.
They took over.
Yeah. I don't know, I can't vouch for what happened to them. I've been told they've been shot, I've been told they've been hauled off and left, dumped out somewhere. I don't have any proof of any of that, but that's what I've been told. And we did find carcasses in the shelter.
One more thing, two more things, that are not on the agenda, one more thing. I'd like to recommend Jasper Steph and Gene Muncy to the extension board. I don't have the paper with me, but those are two that they sent to me.
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion Jasper Steph and Gene all.
Fill it out, give them authority.
Extension, sir. The motion, all in favor? You all done that? Okay, motion to pay the bills? Second?
Yep.
Motion for the government center approval list? Second? All in favor? Motion for the appropriation cash transfer list? Motion second? Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?